eko batako bramai esinukoso atwa petiama ntemfi asansa krokotiako the platform sunie asisi nkondwa asisi adwa ama trankondwa atrenufua brana na ya okese the cardinal tiadwam ewo peace 104.3 FM so the platform odoso puyo ade doso ensempudium amanyosam abrabom nsam asetirem nsam ani amansa hodo so nsam ani se hodo bi ade a ani ne hia na ya okese the cardinal wone na pamfo our the platform dwedie so wo peace 104.3 FM adwada ni ukwada numre biada efri no nwotwekopim nondu the platform ewo peace FM ensam asisie de aba de akro ani de yatia ni de yehu ni nyina ne wudi na apreto ani ne sombi na yensiai na banu so a emia the platform chire wadwini bi Ghana ya my Ghana.
You have to ask your students that question. Why is it that we ask that the debt levels be maintained at prudent levels? The reason is because if you do not manage your debt properly, it will affect your exchange rate, it will affect your interest rates, it will affect your inflation, it will affect your growth. Isn't that the case? You are managing the economy in a way to look at its impact on these variables: exchange rates, interest rates, inflation, and growth rates. That is the issue. When the NDC was in government, well, way before they took us to HIPIC, remember the HIPIC period, they had mismanaged the debt levels such that we had very high inflation, very high exchange rate depreciation, very high interest rates, and low growth. That was the legacy they left us. By the time we were going towards 2016, the debt levels had increased to an extent where the inflation was going up, interest rates going up, exchange rate depreciation going up, and growth also coming down. And they had to run to the IMF for a bailout. Wasn't that the case? That was NDC economic management. Our debt levels have gone up, but what has happened to inflation? It has come down. What has happened to exchange rates? Depreciation has come down. What has happened to interest rates? It has come down. What has happened to growth? It is going up. That is a difference in economic management. It's a difference in economic management. There's one that is incompetent and there's one that is competent. And if you choose the NDC, you go to the incompetent path. You choose the MPP, you have competent economic management.
You can see Dr. Bawumia is out of breath. So a man who has died in the market, you don't need to announce his funeral. Credibility matters a lot. My brother, we all know the truth was unpeddled, and we have said it, that if a lion is found of patronizing the marketplace, they will treat it like a puppy. Today, if Dr. Bawumia should greet anybody, he meets you and greets you good morning. You look at the position of the sun before you respond. You can see Dr. Bawumia is out of breath. So a man who has died in the market, you don't need to announce his funeral. Credibility matters a lot. My brother, we all know the truth was unpeddled, and we have said it, that if a lion is found of patronizing the marketplace, they will treat it like a puppy. Today, if Dr. Bawumia should greet anybody, he meets you and greets you good morning. You look at the position of the sun before you respond.
Abuzafo ema munyina jo nongotwe apa Media Saba kunti akasi Media nonkron na abo nonkron Peace 104.3 FM suni Jumadi de the platform ya de bra odwada ene ukuada bia bra nongotwe kase ebo no akọ na wiye ya frame nana ya okese obetimi aframe the cardinal me ena me di ho chiame na enden so ye ba badwen Ghana sikasem ho na ya dwen Ghana mpuntio ho ya dwen Ghana enkankro ho Isaac Odro Patricia Sefa Fisher Emmanuel Etiemo Kwabna yo ento and now I'm special producer Prince Bafo Samuel Elizabeth Ejin and Samuel Apia Omo and a sheshe and me di ho chiame and you so ema munyina adwo e bia wo auti enka bia some de wo hanne komo ho pa nti hye so maye se enkomo na e wo ho no e fa kese no we be kwa kugina oman ne sikasem ho isanse penifo mienu eneme ni wo mo edi djuman omo ye mpenifo a oti sikasem ase en wo mu nim we be se omo te WhatsApp e wo sikasem ho pa enu nti enwumre e ba ba twetwe nkomo ide na kire se nkomo no ne kwamu a na eda no Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu head of department accounting and finance Accra Technical University or a member NDC's national communication team Ira kusi buafo public sectors reform public sector reforms on one penya or dano Ira Thomas kusi buafo enso no enti mpanifo emienu na me ne o mo hia ye betwetwe nkomo enanwumre na nkomo no fa pim nyina ne se na no ye man pani abedi akire Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ekokohia Tesconfo ene omo ekasai okansem bia akire se ewom se Ghana ye kae de no ekosoro na nso wo hwe other indices no a na indicators no ho no nyina na se wo de toto senior MPP ehihye oman no hihye sikasam no ho a eye pa eye papa echen NDC for there na so NDC for vice man kasa era en kasa asem na woka no na Ghana sikasam se sei ebon kra mon kanje kwabanto so onye din ebon kra na Francis Xavier Sosu Madina emna shebedwani o say per the IMF data on low-income developing countries, Ghana's debt-to-GDP ratio was set to 83.2% in 2022, and then further to 84.8%, 86.0%, and 86.6% in 2023, 2024, and 2025, respectively. It will, however, drop slightly to 85.5% in 2026, according to the fund. Na chese ono chiremu a IMF fo no enso nkunta o mubuo no ye ka no bekoso akosora akopembe 2026 so ansan de ehu se ahyase eba efomo enkakra so say the current public debt stock of 334 billion Ghana cedis means each citizen owes 11,133 Ghana cedis. That is, if the current public debt stock was evenly distributed among the 30 million Ghanaians subject to GSS revised census data at the end of June this year. This is as against a public debt of 120 billion with a debt to GDP ratio of 56% as at 2016, leading to the use of 28% of revenue for debt servicing. The over 90% of domestic revenue going into debt servicing puts Ghana as the country with the highest debt servicing cost globally, a situation that makes resources woefully inadequate to drive homegrown development. The current hardship and plight of Ghanaians simply do not support the rhetoric and narrative that is churned out by the Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Francis Sosu enono say Dr. Bawumia jade wokano jai kra jaka na yenye tie na wasem no awokano any data wo ho no enhia enti say sikasem no de be asem ho na e ka no kra kire emu asem pa etesen wenum na ewuranom kusi buafo ene Ibrahim Zubairu omo edu onyansa ne nimdia omo ewo osikasem totoye ho no obeboa na nwumre ama yahwe na yedi eho enkomo. The platform eno asugusu auti here live ewo Facebook Peace 104.3 FM Peace 104.3 FM and YouTube so despite media na no me ka kire mo se nyame adoma ochena ewo Sakaman Blue Lagoon as of a friend Priority Salvation Ministry also for Kenya msem ewo Peace FM fie ha Priority Salvation Ministry as for ewo Sakaman Blue Lagoon ehonom asafo ache Yate Avenue na obi a ono de odwene oni bie ho ene omo a omuntimi nante ho e de wheelchairs ene niema ya asafo no behia pi abegu asonfie ho oso ochena anopadu ba ko pepepe so wo obi a ontimi nante na bibia te sabra fa no bra na omeje wheelchair no ba ko free nipa no ode ba ene se onim na no bi ode bi ko Nigeria ode she omo federation nsa ewiase no na omo asebi omo ya bubu afo eso omo nya wheelchair no ba ko mpo enya bi eso nkonwa no so ya cha manasa omo Naija mu etwe die maame no strangely oye Cameroonian ena ode niema na bagana nti ono apese ohu o che na ade ansa na wasan akọ eti pa cho se uwo obi sa e wo fi a fresa number we 0244872638 0244872638 0244872638 ena 0244444930 0244444930 eno ano no mene wo so awie mame mpanifo atenase na afei gemfa enkomo no ehyehyɛ so senam di kaka no Dr. Zubairu ewa ha sei na Ewura Kusi Boafo so ewa ha Doc, good evening.
Good evening, Minia.
Na bajo ho te say
Nyame admo
na de wa mama ni age at long last yes yeah na juma te say
ye gozunga kakra
fie so boko de
Nyame adom school for no o ma announcement na almost start sending message
I want to say how
I want to say me wa ha
wa ba ka chom say wa ba fie
yeah
baby afirst so nam ni nya de na ya no ano afi angasa sana
sure
yeah Kusi Boafo because ye ba be bo dey mu ho e wo Bantama High Street ho ti na okay mo akwa ba ye mo akwa ba e do ase pass onye ho adaje anwumre okay over
yeah
my joy yeah she said there's a COVID in the Monday move
no na e bomb pie say on the Ghana economy pick third half and that's fourth quarter third and fourth quarter and Ghana economy pick is significant COVID no mo more see a better say BBNC na lockdown bia emma within the third and the fourth quarters.
Yeah.
And yes, your recovery no a bit delay. It impire your body moon near in a day.
Yan twan so kakra.
Yan shena ya observe protocols. Yan shese at ranching bia Ghana economy to say nipa. Unse nipa say o trase ya wo I have said na ma metu achi say wo betrase ya wo trase wia ye wo mre bi e de ato so ama wa wo be wia wo wia ye wo mre bi a wo be sori atutu no anante eduru say o trase no wo cherry pie wo form wa na a create a lot of apprehension na free parents no yam hihye wo say ade ne nipa na cherry and form sa an economy etie eduru trough no a ase pa no e wo say to be pleasure o cherry hope ya enye cherry hope ya enye indeed the recovery must be expected say third and fourth quarter no and on activities bia will be a plan essesia ekokopie say na crofo crab den near ma fra bruchere beba o ma ha se presi orders do obeton near ma wa chase obi promise obi a sa amre no mom no obeye koko ne to ebeba manfo bi si adan a carpenter fo mason fo o mani bebre hanna that mean economic activities no ebe peke it is bedru we na lockdown no aba na so bi agire koko ska na ode ti kukum ya nche enum sa ne kanchina mo a menua obede no ode apie krum se ode beto bibi akọ ni krum no ode akọ adwuma ndi ye mompa ye megidi se ye mo debu no de yenya kwan bo de mu de ye be ye ne anya no kwan papa so ye observe protocol so na megidi se
ebeboa
boni biensi
mate
bibia nso be koka
mate and that's it offer enti pamcho Yentie saa asem we na emfanye your basis of discussion tonight. Ni nyina ye Ghana sikasem ene senia ye mampani abedi akiri Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia osi ehunufa.
When you teach economics, you have to ask your students that question. Why is it that we ask that the debt levels be maintained at prudent levels? The reason is because if you do not manage your debt properly, it will affect your exchange rate, it will affect your interest rates, it will affect your inflation, it will affect your growth. Isn't that the case? You are managing the economy in a way to look at its impact on these variables: exchange rates, interest rates, inflation, and growth rates. That is the issue. When the NDC was in government, well, way before they took us to HIPC, remember the HIPC period, they had mismanaged the debt levels such that we had very high inflation, very high exchange rate depreciation, very high interest rates, and low growth. That was the legacy they left us. By the time we were going towards 2016, the debt levels had increased to an extent where the inflation was going up, interest rates going up, exchange rate depreciation going up, and growth also coming down. And they had to run to the IMF for a bailout. Wasn't that the case? That was NDC economic management. Our debt levels have gone up, but what has happened to inflation? It has come down. What has happened to exchange rates? Its depreciation has come down. What has happened to interest rates? It has come down. What has happened to growth? It is going up. That is a difference in economic management. It's a difference in economic management. There's one that is incompetent and there's one that is competent. And if you choose the NDC, you go to the incompetent path. You choose the MPP, you have competent economic management.
Enti yamampani azekudru udunkonya nabaha. Yamampani abedi akiri Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena okane say. So the case of the Ghanaian economy. Dr. Zubairu, me pesa me no sha ase anwumre. Omampani ni assessment of the economy eno no. Mo na mo te sa abrofo na se mo na mo nim sa enema na ye de mo ka na ye hwe mo na ye tie mo. Ohu ne san.
Menia nana ma me fa wakwanya so nchia eye ebusuafa o mo tie ni nala. Na eye na economy asem ye ka na troka. Na ya politics a nia aya me ya kese ne wo mo a entiase na wo be bonsem na wo mo so a wo mo tiase a nya atwomenti wo mo ntumi nka no kware ewom eno na ya problem a ye wo oman mu edikan no I'm say vice president na asem na o ka no na one I'm say MPP student na
Tescom
no mo ka nti e ho no obetimi aka sansem no e wo ho na mesra meka o ne kwarka ayedin e wo Ghana ha manepa bi tamama our state of economy no intimi sinipi enkyere say enetie ideally say yehwe ne the economy na ono ase debt levels are going up and the interest rates are coming down, the exchange rate is coming down. How did the interest rate come down, or how did it came down? Take for example Ghana to dollar in the 6 cities and are close to 6 cities saying are close. At the time I offer economy in 2017, 7th January 2017, how much was the dollar to cedi exchange rate? About from Essenia offer nana. So about from Essenia offer no. Now Becca just say you have managed the economy prudently. Me no be agent, me to say. Now say cost through saying near offer no. Now Becca just say you are so competent in managing the economy. And me no agent. 2, debt levels a cost through and above form. At the time I offer economy, the debt levels was 122.3 something billion in the the economy has been rebased in the rate, and how much is the debt level? It's more than 260 billion. So yes, simple arithmetic. Now to 122.3 billion feet 260 more. I
think 140.
Good. So it's more than 100% additional debt. Your debt levels is rising. What have you got to show? In an economy, when infrastructure, investment in the infrastructure is not going on the way it should go, capital expenditures which affect or which are supposed to be huge in every let's say spending spare of the government, say and cost now say the expenditures are largely recurrent. Definitely Ube say the economy no because it grow. How did it grow? Near ebe boa ubenya returns a ebe grow economy no 1 year no obo besia na wudi scan wudi wan fan ye nea ubenya returns wom ede aye ejuma ede wenima. Then at the end of the day, what have you done? Media debia ya meka say your bad radio so na your bad about economy and na yegina baby na you care about economy now. Let's face the fact. Facts that are being sent the real fact. Is it the real fact or the adopted fact? When facts are sacred, we know. When somebody speaks about them, we understand because you add 1 to 2 and know that it adds up, it tallies. But the moment it doesn't, then it becomes problem for us to comprehend and understand what we are putting out to the general public. And yes, individuals may have money that they are doing their businesses to help out, but the government that has been elected to take resources from us, the general public or the citizens, manage those resources properly and spend them in our name for the economic development or for the betterment of the citizens. How have they managed those resources prudently? And no question now, as I yet me answer. And I don't know, it's the last year. We just have to be careful with what we say. How do you accuse public sector to be full of demons and principalities? Where are the demons coming from? All these things in is it part of economic management? Now that tell us how we are managing our economy. Issues about our economy, no, I disagree totally with what our Vice President is professing to the student of the TESCAN, Bibi Osha Omobia, because it doesn't follow and it doesn't add up when we are looking at the practical application of economic theories. Theories in the books are sometimes difficult to comprehend when they come to practice. And we have to look at the practical implication of some of the things that Yesu will book. Textbooks, economics, cannot be used to run practical economy that we have, or that we are speaking from wherever we are at the end of the day. And
Okay.
Because I feel, say, there's things are not adding up.
They are here and add the app on.
Good. And I maybe say, no, me didn't be say a question. Sir, you talk about competently managing the economy. When you pick the economy, what was the interest rate dollar to the city?
Exchange rate, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Did it drop? Or still growing? There is a difference between you talking about the speed at which it is growing and it is not growing and we have managed to stabilize it. Or it is growing. Why is it growing? Is there any fundamental challenge that leads it to grow? Mamega Zamba control. Several causes or several issues cause that city to grow. When you are in an economy where the production is largely low, the consumption is largely foreign items, the remittances from your country outside or the transfers outside your country is huge. Those transfers, whether they are from the government or the private sector, have serious effect on the foreign exchange issues in the countries or the forex in the country. And if you are not able to manage them and they escalate to the extent that exchange rate keep on rising against the major foreign currency and compete with your currency, now we can say one manager economy in a year, then I disagree with you. For example, how much Sikana several organizations in the country Omodoko outside, because most of the countries are not Ghanaian based or Ghanaian owned companies, they are foreign companies. So definitely what we mop up the cities, change them to the dollars and send out. There's going to be pressure on our city. We say that you're sorry, Feda Yoko and sorry be a foreign base. You just see this mobilizing by Monday, Tuesday, now transfer in a foreign currency to go. There's going to be pressure on our foreign currency. Yeah, ton yoma na ya produce, na ya import largely abroad. There's going to be pressure and the exchange rate will keep on shooting up. How have you managed those dynamics? If those dynamics are not properly managed, now still that is rising, now telling me the economy is doing well, then I'm sorry to say I disagree.
I see. What is it,
Yeah.
Pato, I'm in Tiwa Dr. Zubairu Achire na dwen also che wadwen e wo sasema yura mampani abedi achire kan ho na fi.
Okay.
Yenko yene.
Matthias, yo medase minia. Offer economic indicators ni indices here. They work together.
Sure.
Be anywhere you are isolated. Into one element, you know, se nkoya. Ubehun say a show all aspect it is deeper.
Yeah.
Moment ya wakoma no money why you nyina ebi a wakoma na ye wo pressure. Ebi a wo kidney na problem wo hu ebi a wo liver. Minua mo fa so ya e be affect wo nanti am obi ahu say papa yi nyesi wo nanti wo yare. Ampa anso bi a ye be che wakoto hospital no. Ni ye be examine wo no. Ni atwe no 1 ni akeka bom ni atu din yarefo. Yentu nipa din yarefo kwa.
Sure.
Yentu nipa din yarefo kwa. Ana yenkoso enipa nim ba bi ketua bi ntwemma enka se enipa ye nipa kokko. So for be a wo preach was a Fanta face Coca-Cola body. Unye bruni. Enti economic indices no e was a match and no na wo impact e wo nipa abrabo so. Enti e was a one economy a enko yie no moment ya obehu se bibi rise na se negative side no ahyase e pagya no ho pe no e was a ade bi e na so ene ne nante pe they go in tangent. Se ba kotwe sign pa e was a wo be re-examine economy and say e yedie bentira. Enti moment ya debt to GDP said the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ekaye no. Un say o consider quiet honestly. Said debt no in nominal terms and na yin nyina pagya no mu. It will be back akofa oh na ya 120 something and na e be a duru be 200 and something and now 300 billion. It is a say e kona nimpa boom 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 boom. E was an associated a yini nyina so show. And it is out there to GDP e kosoro da untimi handle ni year e be reflective interest rate e be reflective interest inflation mu amu e be reflective depreciation of the currency natural say account. Say out to GDP e so alarming. Of course, edru baby a sound one in natural. But say a back count pi na untimi handle ni year, untimi manage ni year. E was inflation nyina ji wonsam. And on a G NDC in some 2016. NDC 2016. That to GDP kosoro no, na inflation kosoro, na interest rate na kosoro, na nyina shutu. Natural would say, Nina tilted towards one direction. Say, enye. The figures will tell you that to GDP during the NDC time. Yeah, me a call epic no. Na nya said that to GDP na cause na inflation drop. Inflation was rising. Interest rate was rising. Foreign reserves were drop. MOB say foreign reserve tebe form. Currency depreciation was also on the ascendancy. Enti no obia hu say ampa ave de aso mu don dry. Enti say entiamu ana say enkomo ayi wansan e wo wirem. Wo de chechiri kakra bia ave waya no na kokora ba beka ho. Na tampe homa na ba beka ho. Na wo ya beka ho ave waya no kura ayi no na wu. Na niema binom ne ensensan no nyina na ve aboa no ntimi bi kura waya nate na che no oda ho mehu bi papa fidi a waya nate na nso ewira mu homa ache aboa because waya na mantam nato I hand it over e dia ma ewira bu niema se mo gala mame it is economy nya all these indicators about gala Achira will say, Ubeni apia. So that to GDP at this level, Kawase Ghana for a tria, power mate. Kaube who say, currency depreciation. Madam for, aye who interest rate, aye who told you lending rate is still 32%. No, Kobange Kobe. Last week, a bank told me that the lending rate is 21%. In Ghana here. Now you're 32%. It was even higher. This is a fact. Inflation of 15.4% in 2016. No? Go and ask whether the figure is still the same. It is 7.8 now. Kobus are foreign reserves. Go and ask. The figure, these are facts coming from IMF, World Bank. This is coming from Central Bank, Bank of Ghana, Ghana Statistical Service or whatever. Earlier, you know the figures are there. Now I'm happy. Say me no anonso do dia wo kire no. Na me susu me kire bi pa. Then I'm susu me adwuma mi die. Enti mire bia nipa wo be wo a e wo say yare ne sound. Esi che wo a diarrhea wey wo mo saso saa na do ko asamado. Enti moment ya wo mention debt to GDP pe say e ko say tell me whether inflation is following debt to GDP to crucify you. Interest rate our banking sector, is it the same? What is the policy rate now vis-a-vis 2016? Policy rate, you're saying. Ask yourself this difficult question. Nasa Busa, a very critical question, sir. Debt to GDP, no, I say. What is happening to our growth? Is it on ascendancy? COVID, post-COVID recovery, Ghana has one of the highest recovery rate. Unim, so who read Jeffrey Sachs, one of the IMF, the World Bank advisors on this physical, Obachira will say, developed countries, you know, $17 trillion and a dear good system. No? And the COVID, the Adroya, yeah, quarter. Nani, I can say. American ko Bob Bosian or their Kotoko video were printing sika no they koto eduro no. Germany are printing sika, Holland are printing sika, Canada are printing sika, Japan are printing sika, Britain are printing sika. And one they call 17 trillion at 0% interest. How much printing is a class one for book? Crack dollars in Omucha. Kentema no makukuru no me de ko ya koto covid ya duro. Kentema no makukuru ya koto covid ya duro. Botoma no makukuru ya koto covid ya duro. Interest bi na so. Ghana person talk covid ya duro. I was work obobosi. Hard currency. And what de kokoto. At between 5 to 9%. Yes. Well, currency is convertible. You are a professor in finance. Which countries have their currencies be internationally convertible? Yeah, exchange. Yeah, backed by Ghana can developing countries in Ghana. That is why we have that classification. Developing country being what the currency, one international convertibility. Until we see the no ucha no motor war. Entra Togo. Ube here dollars. Na di akọ. Enti awase Ghana kobo bosia. Even with this all problems, let me give you statistics as to the development. So with all these problems, the entire maker say, yeah, ne tobi be a Ghana. Let us be very thankful to God. And then to the current administration. Say Omwabuaye. Eurozone, even with the printing of this fiat money, your friend of fiat money. Professor is aware of what is fiat money. Our growth rate is 4.8%. Even in Europe, our printing sikagum, and the abeto gold, and the abeto cocoa. Uncle Yajuman or the apple, when you get taxes. So because you know who picture bar was the young French, we have no more there. One when you get taxes. Omu chesika egum ope ugodwa no di bia beto ope timber no di bia beto ope diamond no di bia beto ope ukoko no di bia ba beto e dia na de say ye at 0%. Enra Joe Biden woman approve 1.2 trillion for infrastructure or san ye twagum e di be infrastructure ohia metal bi na bi ni America obeko akofaro wo country bi wo so no de say sika de bi ato e de koho e be de do omunya dwuma ye. Even at that level, the speed at which the economy is running, 7% no kura no kese ye higher. Ghana de nya a wolf say ya can me growth. Ghana growth is now 4.6% first half. Na me can third and the fourth no ayeka say be ba no. So two be grow about 5.4%. So on the average, we'll be running between 4.8 to 5% by the close of the year. And you're marvelous one. Yeah, here, sub-Saharan Africa 3.4 on the average. A whole Asia, Japan, China, all of them put together 3.7%. Afe young here, Latin America and the Caribbean 3.7%. Ombe South America 3.7%. Afe Central America, Mexico can hold 3.5%. Middle East, you did Dubai can hold no, 4.1%. Saudi Arabia. So Ghana is overperforming. Even IMF, upon all this caution, is also praising Ghana for such a tremendous growth. And the economy grow, and on the job creation ever, we are adding to the GDP. 2020 COVID by a lockdown we grew at 0.9%. It was very alarming. In fact, we feared as against 6.7 in the previous equal 7%. Near true. Because from 7%, now all drop the about 0.9 there. A grievous. We and nunti and the tika mo Ghana for who check a crabby, where some moha a course of additional cost can me baha. Namingura adia mudimi uramu sanitize me with you. Namingura.
That is what you want to do.
One who said no so pumpy gumi so. Yadetemo. We could be a mondo. At what cost? So, and no call for additional cost. It is a Dr. Mahmoud Bamumia cancer same way. Yeah. The woman is one. Indeed, we had borrowed. That was necessary. Miana, me work public sector. Me buy what I saw. Yeah, me who yani say. Workers. And ya grow. Prof wa waka be. 1 second tier pension. So what Accra Technical University. I tell you, we are now going to transfer your second tier pension. This anka pension. Can you so far we and to man idea try saying. Na sebe o de akwako hwie pesika. You were ground zero. 66 months. Na second tier pension koi. Hey! 5.1 billion Ghana cedis. Makaso upon Kroma, any employment minister, any controller, explaining to the workers now. Ave woman who achieve me who am see you. You mentima nya kura na transfers way e kokura mepe. Do want me kuzibu afo me ka ho. Me ko hwe mu a wonim. Every time me kira de 19 years. 10,000 Ghana cedis ba na dem. Me si buwe ma wu me mame, ma wu o this ya kume. Naga me fa he amon go ba kwa mre gusi. Ani amuntu ofunu na kan fancy wan twa me.
Say 19 years.
19 years.
Who's the guy say?
10,000. Oh God. Have mercy on Ghanaian workers. Have mercy. What am see there be? Into me hands. Montran face can 5.1 billion so far. Aka 23 institutions. Na banya wie all the transfers. Ama ubi a second tier pension. Eko. Ya ubi kura di ahia se uhunu mobile phones. Ebeba betosu se yama. Bosumi biya di oko. Unions must at me boy unions on fre. Me ne dey sabri ya make say. Me assure say Nagrat, Tewu, Krosak, those people they are listening to me. Me boy me say monye. Some few institutions enquire what they are here. Na me Jimmy D say eno de sikane da ho. And the affairness can you move no from controller ako Ministry of Finance. Affairna na de akoma pension managers ne say niema no ni are working in including related interests near the akoma woman and minua. And the woman we polytechnics. So mark pension you are test move to my friend. Move to my friend. Say America say ebia ko pension musika monsankan. And this is a question you should ask. We are working on it. This is how we solve problems. Way there are no account consumption, recurrent expenditure, into the capital expenditure. Ukra 5.1 billion. Now they call capital expenditure more. Unimusika, it is closer to $1 billion. Unimakwanyi be 66 months one fanko. Now very would they call better than a public debt no and rising. Who told you the public debt will not go up? Who told you pension is not necessary? Now why can't he hold him say me call pension? Say me ko je dama to sra. Minua will he be motivated to work? Me not sure said the workers are aware of what I'm talking about. I'm telling them today, said that was the situation. Since the 6 months in Sikanon I've any transfer, leaving only 27 institutions here, ya transfer Sikano right from controller to the Ministry of Finance. Yeah, be say a backup pension managers no na individual be a there throughout the whole country. Ufun a bebaso. Mama teachers and country me say this has not been done. Ask Nagrat, ask concerned teachers, ask Tewu, ask Closak. Say be nye ya. Omo di ankoye me free order me a friend Putak. But me free says family omo would di my friend Tutak now. Is that not it?
Me chairman.
We are chairman. Yes. Are you not aware of this?
I'll come in when you finish.
It is a me busa no. Say if he's aware of this. Say the Edra Fenye working on now. May ensure say those transfers will be made to them. Yeah, almost a beka. Yeah, a home manager no ebeba. So this is a critical thing the government is doing. And this is something we must come out and tell Ghanaians and Ghanaian workers. The situation ni bi udi we kwa a recurrent expenditure na ka what say obi ya wanye ya atena ho ache and I don't know. As government, we won't run away. And we will face it squarely as government. And only a war one. Samri, yes, Eduma. No, Minia, see, I can't. Not see a woman. When it comes to growth, Ghana is performing, and even it is outperforming the peers. Even in spite of the country be one the debt to GDP, right? Country be Haiti, or the president. Was suspending road construction. Road construction new or budgeting. And the Ghana saw this Krobiso Yakwanye, Mumei Yakwai, Mumei say since 2020, Haiti road construction new or budgeting. Now first guy when they are COVID they draw any basic use school crowd won't mean reopen Ubusa COVID Ukobusa road construction. Ghana at this time. Road construction is still going on. Me who baby a buying a constructing road. Me who baby a buying a yes infrastructure development. A coso many trebiso ya me who be minimum se obia so who be. And ya baby a dear problems no ho na eson. Because all share road construction requirement ya. Ghana be here 19 billion US dollars to complete all roads in Ghana to make all of them asphalt. It will be a gun say afeba akopa na mfiem yenu 19 billion US dollars and yet the asphalt in Ghana. And the answer get one yet who know. Into obi ti wada me kwanu yenyi ni ade ade ntu ko di egu asphalt wo baabi e wo wa yia mo amuwo area ho mo na banya se mo nka se mo onye Ghana nyine here $19 billion. What you say? $19 billion no. Minua say keka at the abomuni ade. It's close to 25% of our gross domestic product. Any here for infrastructure alone. Ghana ye US ya. Kamika $19 billion. Can also President Kufuor dey call parliament for approval. Ni ya ko $19 billion. Ade say ya ni atiegum. Emra dey nyadwuma. And that is what US is doing. And the system is unfair, generally unfair, even at this COVID time. It is unfair. It is a president who could be appealing for debt forgiveness near the Adenia year. Hey, yes, you call IMF. You call IMF no World Bank is 17 trillion. Developed countries, apparently a good demo. And no be no way IMF, any World Bank. What do you call to your share of all contribution? What would dear? I just walk on good. We are my own printing CDC, World Bank is or GCDC or $. Can also contribute to IMF and the World Bank. US can no war printing and no been would you go to your IMF for or share no contribution about 19%. Science also not China printing gum, Japan printing gum. Germany printi gum France printi gum omu nyina printi gum edi kotuatua wo mo aka Ghana de age so cotton gold age so cotton timber age so ton manganese age so ton oil age so ton gold ene ho niema no wati bi watuatua kawie bi ka udi akotua woka that system is unfair san wa pebi de akoto aduro ansa na onkrofo ho ato wo eno kro aduro no nti me de metimi aka se aban na eto mire bi a well communication kwa de me for to because me so me ka hu bi o da me so me bo an e bo da uro. From now onwards we must come out and tell Ghanaians indeed what is happening.
So who estimation there Dr. Bawumia kan no
no perfect because I was say Sanya Manua ni relate no be and stand here alone one who be a ni tiri nko na tuya so na eko say ni tiri no nko eko na e friend ni nipa da ana ne nan no nante na ne na enan mienu na nam ho hwe nka ho yenya ni sa they must all move together say yare a eyare ahodin wo mu a ahodin wo ba bi nya na ba bi ho odin a e wo se utimika obi timi boda na otimi nante yie so afi so ati ase wo kroso kwan kra wo hwe ha so countries ni bebre it there to GDP there ye hwa na ya hwe se some man no there to GDP no wo reserve kra the reserve kra to say Ghana is currently having $11 billion foreign reserve. $11 billion foreign reserve. Enough to give us a cushioning for 5 months. And to improve yada. When they compare dollars, yeah, what is so big compare dollars? I compare the MBA so where you dollars in the Wakoya where you Alaba, Numuni to do Numu Yakra, Kokran, Samama for maybe. Tam Ben, yes, will be a good or pay dollars in a short to cry. But there is dollar shortage in Haiti. Unyebi. And what's it, son? What it? Ukrasika no ho kromo so amusi kare te se die bi. Ukura je so de koje dollar no. Dollar no kura unhu bi no asesa.
Anyway,
enti ye de ye na nyame ase. Menka say ye absolutely perfect. We must work harder. We must manage our debt better. Na interest rate do a eba no. Me hu say ya here ase. Okwa and a debt management strategy. Yeah, fast for. And it is helpful. And they say, yes, substitute debt ya boy nyina free sense and so interest in ye higher no with lower interest rate debt portfolios. And this uncle bo be na ye 18%, 15%, 10% ya yenya 5% interest rate ya the back ko replace. So we are borrowing monies to replace all inefficient debt in our debt portfolio. And to just identity na mo se mo mana mo bosia identity na minua makobo bosia ensi hu ya 12% 1 billion na me san kwaji 1 billion ensi hu ya 5% wo baabi a me kwaji no mfe me replace 12% de no. This is basic economic or financial management. Obia boka ye nyina ya bobosia o minim say kwa bo nso ozo abobi o hwehwe de interest ne kura ye free ana say eye lower interest rate e de akọ replace de ye de geo ye de bow tirimu no enye sa na wo hwehwe. That is why we are even we tested the zero coupon bonds. What you say ye try ahwe afa ye be move akọ samura bonds at 1%, 2% interest rate. Near the banner de be replace. Afe na businesses ya omo bobosia akese no ne 15%, 20, even 21% no kura mabodino. We must find a system to dilute it. Until the development bank be abado. And what you can get interest between 2 to 5%. Ewo. E basa afe banks ya ekamine no ne ade adidi nyina no e be hase. Contractors yesu bebrebe ene wo mo debt build up di nyina no bo si wo magide free bank ya na bi ye 32% 30% no menu anu na eku wo mo me kura mi bobi NDC peso ya na ye 34% ya menu ya enome na anu ya na mi ko replace no enome na mi ntua nwie 2018 ya na me call ya da bi na me say ade yi di minya omo wekia no ma use straight line method prof in finance no enti ado na wo betua enti wo gi 2015 a na ye 4 years ya edo ba 2016 17 18 edo beduru ho no afi wo kɔ no na ahwɛ din a interest yi so afi said esi ba mesenya bosia bi baabi a from 34 na mkonya bi 29 nti adenti na me nko replace 34 no with 29% interest and that 29 no me san koji bi e wo baabi at 21 asa ko replace me giri saban we Dr. Baumia adawroma enru 2023 na tima drop to 18% ya na ma san koje e dia ko replace no na me nko banim na me come anim san ye manage of mine me tum 100%. It is a perfect explanation or diama and yes I dear ye keka ne de on so bu o wa o kan okofa nominal yi na no aka say na ye we na fan ha na koye exchange rate na o kan ye they have not mentioned reserves, they've not mentioned lending rate, say the city woman kasa mfa interest rate, woman kasa treasury bill rate, woman kasa mfa inflation ho, woman kasa mfa even growth, even recovery time wa COVID woman Ghana recover at a rate faster than 2016 overall growth of 3%.
Mami tie unia Dr. Zubairu so kakra fe mi wi a mesan aba so Yera Thomas Kusi Buafo on do asimo obi amfa doctor no mfre no nti on de of Kusi Buafo an ye frɛ no ana afi Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu enso so ewa ha penifo mienu enam ne omo etwetwe nkomo na doc wo tie Yera Kusi Buafo so dia okan no any Robertas kakra ho ha na afi enkwada issues so
yeah every kind of the tier 2
tier 2
yeah tier 2 we started in 2010 or a shot was 2010 now 2010 as I buying started say air titano and brand try and say or more on back pension before 2020 they are not part until ideally they were not being deducted until BBR Obeko pension after I think 2020 no.
I need deductions. The deduction started.
The deduction are being deducted.
Yes. To be invested.
One more Obeko pension. Before 2020 no. They are not deducted. Those who go pension, I think after 2020 no, were affected.
Okay, I understand it. It me I remember pension after 2020. Deduction started 2010. Also, they started 2010.
Yes.
So where was it resting?
What did I say? And you know, when it started 2010, unions were asking for their money to be transferred to their
fund managers.
Very good.
So there was process for us to go through when you look at the provisions in the Pensions Act. Everybody must be able to get their fund managers right. Those who are going to what you call there must be distinction between the custodians of the fund and the managers of the fund and the rest of them. Some of the financial houses were trying to provide 3-in-1, but I think the law didn't allow
3-in-1 here then.
3-in-1 yeah. Onepa ba kunala or your custodian
and
or manage fund no.
Okay.
So at the time no, Honorable Aruna led Minister of Employment didn't want them to risk the fund into those kind of situations. You know, there were a lot of people who were applying for those things that Pensions Act do not allow. So they have to hold on and make sure that government protect the interests of the workers before those things are done and the transfers are made to that is the. Unfortunately, I think from the January 2010, I almost started to deducted up to 2016, which is 6 years. The government should have transferred those monies, but the monies were still with Controller and Accountant General, which is with the government, and they have not transferred.
Still with the government. Yes.
It's with the government. But if I will have a problem, say Sikano and Eno Media, and I'll have a problem. But the money was there.
Doing what?
That is the question. 80.
Because also what can my idea?
Maybe
No, maybe I'm just giving you a question.
Yeah.
Because me poor worker, what market here? Say who invest here or the mama fund manager no invest here mama.
Yeah.
So about interest na me so manya bi e wo ho adidi.
Sure.
And this what is kind of 6 years na eda ho. O say e ko process mu. Eda wo ho a me nyin ni say aban na scandal no the interest bi abeka ho ama.
Oh no. They said there was this TP Oh yes. It is your area. There's nothing there's nothing that is sitting under this sun. They said there is somebody or they've given it to an institution under the Ministry of Employment, and they have invested the money. And when you look at the what do you call the NPRA, yeah. The Ministry of Employment, now they were those in charge of this because. I remember the Deputy Minister for Employment. Obviously, the money is there, and they will release it to the workers. And I know, sir, if our last strike crumble, we have to add it. Say if they don't release it, we'll go on strike.
Very good.
So the ones that go direct was from I think May 2017. From May 2017. Now that time, na fund managers na dini na appointed that. You say your fund manager was UPT. In the normal then it goes to the UPT. So periodically, UPT will be giving you the alert. La Wiskano Abba. But the old one, from 1st January 2010 up to 30th April 2017, now you pese on transfer. Now the challenge here are controller Ekachen say they have to know Mr. Kusuba for they say na yate. What they say na yate. Where they say na yate. Na ya kukruni na ama fund managers of Mimi Union, which is UPT. What I say, so that they can also credit my account and continue managing with the money. Now, meetings are hudwa yenesa board ne acquire from Minister of Employment severally as we speak. I don't know your threat on striking. All my friends say they are transferring the money. Initially, the Minister of Finance wanted to borrow the money and give it to the Ghana something trust fund.
Which is at the Ministry of Finance.
Yes. Borrow as Canada no di next year a pension fund, they will not allow that. So there were a lot of give and take. How do you borrow our pension money and go and give to another fund manager and say that they are going to on-lend it to the banks that are struggling to get their capital so that they will manage and give us returns in this turbulent financial system of our country? Company, a whole lot. And issues are at the we are fighting. Yay, Penny University lecturers are.
And on America said 20.
Affecting.
CSR.
Yeah, university lecturers are sad they are not affected. Your colleagues, or more under superannuation, they are not affected by that because they don't contribute to SNET. They don't contribute to SNET. It's we, the tutor, we are those affected because we were under SNET. And we are affected by this deduction. UTAG is not affected by this because they are under superannuation or different pension way. They don't contribute to SNET. And we are looking at, even if we can get a waiver, we also move away and look at our superannuation, how we manage it for ourselves and the rest of them. There's a whole lot, of course, with regards to these pensions. I don't think.
We are chairman. We are major number. I will keep you in touch.
So there are so many issues regarding this our tier 2. Our members are not happy. And those who are going to retirement in 2021, they have been affected by the Omusanka Omusika.
Very good.
Some are on pension now, and they've not got their money. And they have to be paid. When you call pension, call Senate, Senate ain't me man the lamb sum. So lamb sum no tier 2 no. And so tier 2 no so and I wa buying chain on release here. How would the person work out? And this is the issue that we are battling with the government on it. And one promise of Mary Lizzie, with our last strike, I call Labor Commission, it was ruled, sir, that money is our right, accrued right, they should release that money immediately. There's no negotiation. So the ruling of NLC on this, when we went, was such that they have to release the money. And the Minister of Employment said they are working out to get released. Said but we haven't really received our own. Send our workers here release it. Yansanka,
I have mentioned that more 27
Yansanka,
Moka. Ha, and some crowd me can't to tackle. I mean, we could see what the woman me war about what you said. 19 years, me na me war to tack.
Okay.
So I'm also part of you.
Okay.
So what you
yeah. And you know, we need to get those things done for our people who have been on pension to get their money. Yeah, and there were a lot of time to go on pension. So, yeah, it's not now. O colleague Ako pension.
But there's always
the problem.
Interest, which should have been compounded.
It's not. That is the problem.
I
know. That is the issue we are raising. That is what we are talking about. Where the MPRA and the Minister of Employment has kept the money, how much interest is it accruing for the people?
Yes.
That's the question we keep on asking.
From 2010 up to this time,
yes.
What happened to even if it was sitting there, what was the component as related
what was the
interest?
Return on it?
Returns.
And how much?
As compounded.
Yes.
Because interest will give birth to interest.
At the end of the day, you see, I think, sir, when we get there, you can't keep my money and tell me, sir, it doesn't accrue interest. Do you know what I will use the money for? So we will request for it. We'll know how to deal with it. Let them give us the money that is sitting there. And then let's fight for the government making our money sit idle. The accrued interest they have to pay at the end of the day.
MPP
so we have to
will do it.
Yeah, are you sure?
Now there is are you sure?
The discussion that have gone between us and the minister, there were a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges. We went through a lot of turbulence.
Yes, from 2010, turbulence.
Yes.
My case is 66 months. It's
not easy. These are the things we are talking about.
The only thing is that as a listening government, this will be resolved. This will be resolved.
Well, Labour Commission has ruled that there's no negotiation on it. The money should be released to our fund managers. And we are looking at that. Then the issues are everyone why with the other countries giving explanations. You see, there are a lot of rebuttals, but look at our time, if I want to rebut, very snappy. Interest rate, inflation, GDP, yes, they are interrelated. But the point we are making is that sometimes what we send out as the correct figures, I have doubt.
Are they?
Yes. You won't tell me, sir, your economy is doing well, and your GDP growth level is slower as compared to what it's supposed to be. Then we give the blame to COVID.
What's supposed
pre-COVID,
to be?
I'm coming. Okay. Pre-COVID growth, it is saying. Pre-COVID performance, it is saying. When you look at those, you realize that there is a bit complexities with Newamu Kano if you don't understand economics properly. Tambia on Mekana Obebo Unsem, but now I deal practically a man for and watch Roma. And there I watch our Ghana. If you go and talk about this economic relativities and what have you, Maza Obebo Boa Sunkrana, friend. Let me tell you, now as we speak, my students, some of them have not been able to pay their school fees.
Because
the works they were doing they have been asked to come home. Examination is just around the corner. They have not even yet registered. Some have paid part of the fees.
Is that the one that's on crowd? Coach Brofun Gua country camera.
Ebi mu entimi kra entua omo fees ni. Isan say ejuma na on back no ye no bi ono people teacher ni. Enzo got na fie COVID into on got na fie. Ebi ya frɛ wo mo. Scan cry ye tua no krampo ye.
Impact of COVID.
Ye ntua omo ye. What I say? Ebi mu enya COVID into omo ye ejuma but scan say ye tua mo no. Omo mpanyimfo enya ntua omo ka. So a whole lot of complexities surrounding it. First now, system ni mu ye na. Ofro bi. Oh bra. Me watch me school fee say ye the man. Business school for no make a and now ofro bi a obi aso ya dry. Why? What is happening with our system? If things are going well really, why would people suffer the way they are going through? But Bisa market women, do a simple survey in the market and ask the market women, how is it going? But Bisa artisans,
okay,
how is the work going? Then just suppose that one with the claim that say NECO GDP because would the people, ordinary people who are fighting or fending for themselves to survive in this our turbulence economy, be able to agree with you when you come and talk about GDP growth?
But Doc,
one more ako school kakra krampono.
Yesu.
Musu.
But Doc, is it also not true, say, COVID by alter growth of every economy?
See, that notwithstanding, I agree.
Okay.
And I make us say, COVID no abe say in no manner na say the dano.
Okay.
That is my point.
So your argument is that pre-COVID kwanenye.
Nenye.
Okay.
Na COVID no abe kunu sram. And that is my problem.
Okay.
You see, normally, Okabibi say ebe peke in the second quarter. What general public should understand, CC and say, in public sector no, aban sike bia and more, you're releasing 1 year complete, the mo bia, you're releasing a quarter by war, quarter, Mr. Kuzibuafo, Dr. Kuzibuafo, Mebuana. And here's an here.
Quarterly release.
Quarterly release. No, you release it. And you know, Ejumana, one more day quarter monies based on the estimate of Omako Parliament approval, Omachim and now every quarter Omo release for Injumano. Say Ebeba for Injumano. Say Ebeba Ntem no more die. And so normally in the middle of the year, June going to September is within period that a normal picky send okano and then we see how best it is. Would they release the monies for the works to be done to get people have their peace as we're expecting? That is what we need to ask ourselves. As a union man, all I'm asking is, my people are not happy. Lecturers, we are not happy.
Because
what we expected from government, how do we increase our salary by 4% and tell us to tighten our belt, the economy is good, is in a little problem or challenge. Then you sit down and open your belt and then increase the salaries of other people. Look at the percentage increase for the MPs, the ministers, and all those at 71 office
71,
holders.
yeah.
Now, Article 190 office holders. Your public sector no. Now you're tightening it. Well, you're boxing one corner. You're tightening your belt. Now, Juma, say then you're struggling 4% for this year, next year. And so now 7% or 6% or something. Why? What crime did we commit to go through this? And we are not happy with it. And I'm also no the agreement with the government, I expect the government be on training and I say, I mean, some of our meetings, government appointees need to catch and say, I am resign and I am go page money for. That is not fair. That is not fair. If you ask our colleagues in the UTAG fraternity their last minute finance minister Obemu he told them if they cannot they can go and look for jobs elsewhere.
Finance minister.
Yes. So these are some of the things koswa Emma lectures and you're happy. We expect say na ban ajatum say na yeah na ban Nigeria Labour Commission say omo da ban court na force no ye na say oye na ye G2 mu say ye be no oye but say aban anye ye kaka no anye na yesu ebufu na ye twetia na afi na mo akokot say ye mbom no ye di bone. That is not fair and you're right.
Okay,
and problem ye wo man mu no kra ka ayedin very very slow no kwarka ayedin nyachum no doosu ndamama ye hu enema papa ebesi akọ tambia no obia no wakyere no tambia no obia with problem yanko strike because we want to go on strike na ye no G2 no say ye be ABCD no ye ya fam dia no say yanko classroom ko kira de yakọ ye kira de no wo so wa fam dia na say we the resources have been entrusted in your care pursuant to the various provisions in the constitution enti wo ye na ye kaka I say kasadodo ye ha adwen dodo there then emfa some jimbo mine and that is the problem we have.
Mate, let's see boafo na free public sector reform. About agitation in the workers front near ade. Say other teacher unions no almost also I can say almost ehwe money mo akwakosi September. Say not grad consent and what have you. Almost say by September na say almost also aban hwe almost kasembi and almost condition of service anya ho adwuma mo mo a ombeko. Now GMA so I can say by October almost so ebeko omo indicators almost nya ombeko ye kasa se see you tax so ewo ho ehia dey asem
well the American said oh share period here this must be expected me enipa me envisage all these problems say ebe happen 2021 even into 2022.
Okay.
Ade.
Say our economy the growth rate enam 6.7% in 2019 now all of a sudden about 0.9% here enru 1% here can who say the gross domestic product is shrinking.
Yeah.
So
it will reduce.
Until we say obekono adwuma kro mo ye yi wo madi ye yi wo yedi na can who say most of the workers we know breadwinners.
Yeah.
Obi e wabusia go to the extent the cry na yire ne ma uyi free mu a abusia bi esanso dechire wo faase ne maame ne papa enso mu nyina e ka bi kura hwe wo mu nua no esanso so ka ebi nso so kura wo mu na hwe asofo kura wa sore de enso so ka enti enye easy say obi I understand their concern enye easy say obi standard of living so tier from very few people and na honum ebe accept it say je ne bia me enjoy so tier ebi kura the car kura si ana car say ye no ka kire na ire say ye nkofro trotro nye me nyina na beji atum say
the problem about
car no kura
the problem about
trotro no memfro what we say the city but sometimes what we must recognize and say what's the answer gitum say we are seeing no I go through this trauma you knew we are seeing baby for crescent lie and the third one into own lie ni bia because Rwanda no mu didi Papa. Who baby more the open out. Now they are queuing to bag half a bag of rice every month for a family. Yeah, the card, national ID card, and yeah, the cotton. Oko near clock. Into Toby was shop A, ya clock, to coach your B. Say, oh, San Cota, yes, where the can have to call. Yan Tombi, it is not so in Ghana. Into a nipa sofa casa, a nipa bread under this COVID period. Germany, you know, they ya many workers say countries be or okranwa, almost that's all lockdown. Ya, it be crowd sorry, won't you mean ko shop say me did me say. It be brave economic activity. A tiabe form a cra. And it's on the back Ghana a year. Bebre no so no and tiasie say a beer a big cry did this on say very few people and a person even the elitists or more a new finance crowd no very few people na person jitum say COVID and ya impact of Ghana bebre say no correct government revenue government min mura Jubilee House enko hu dua bi say na moye dey na munye sika de o government money sir odi pieka ene do de ye no eye taxes any borrowing and oye and odi meet the commitment emebia it is all economy said the necessity near ka say afon wa be 0.9% from 6.7 ka hu say e bi atwagu ankasa it affected aban nyate economy no perform say no revenue trend ni nyina nso di so bi revenue mobilization trend no nso nyina di so bi enti wo ye economic realist ya wo gi bibi tumu a na nka America fo nkotwa trillions engum at America ye infrastructure what is work of print sika now they are conceding say revenue generation is difficult
to
wo mu be test kagum nti wo mu print sika Ghana, we don't have that way. It's pressure be by so. Into a drum bra, I was here no homo entrance. Ghana na problem. Problems, you know. Obi obebebia that problem we can't run away from that. Nipa enso ne no homo kasa. I know the government is capable enough. Ye wonipa ye no better say edins also to address this problem. Womunso nim say eye womunso a responsibility to help and assist Ghanaians. Ebi abi wo hokura ewuo na beba ewuo no nim ba bi ebire minim doctor bi a wako strike a ono ne papa ewu afem. Ono onso kan strike for no. Ono so papa enya heart attack esofa wubi. Okoye no so anya mpa na so okoye no omko strike yenim yankwara school omukomu a bebrezu ye parents wo so maka ho bi wo relatives nso ka ho bi enti problem no it is a problem of Ghana enya ban aban bia no wa ni trim ode pa me kamani beje pa se sika beba na fe ye tia enkrofo ka na minuanom a ye ne wo mo na na kira de ye yi minua ubotom kunkum fam na nka machia wo na mani ade I will be very 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 happy. I will be very very happy and I'm praying say omo concern no omo de ba mesre abamu nipa ubenya kwanya ni wo mo ahia kasa bi okan ayese finance minister enya ne karata no no ntino okan embusa ayese enti ono na ka ase mu nkopa dwuma foforo nyana na
say this is your official statement.
Okay me there me ni hobby and me nim eye but what I'm saying is this is the time wa yenso ye kasam yenhwe ye kasam yi enam wo mo wɔn so wɔn strike union so a yes yɛbɛkɔ strike ɛne aban so mu nipa a yɛne wɔn bɛhyia obiara nhwɛ ne kasa mu yie asɛm bie ni hɔ a bɛwiase a solution
Yeah.
There will always be a solution.
Yeah, sure.
A solution. Now problems no. And yet now it will come and come and come and come. That is why we have government. The beba when the catcher will say after this threat of strike, there will never be another threat of strike.
They will.
So
They will.
ebeba. Even if we cannot meet all, let us make concessions.
Simple as that.
Let us make concessions. Sabe, akora how do the soon job sumo a. When masama e ka kire no, no wa hase e bobo tofe a ne dire dedin. Menka say bia tofe ne ebubo din sa. What say? Ebia yentimi ntua no saa mre ye mu odin ya, and they are aware. Yan presenting message, and share woman in a way that they will also understand. And they say university senior staff we mete here, woman so te woman the woman so woman to make a concession. So they will go back and work. It is a sad year. Definitely others no. They will also go back and work. Say no omo kasa yeah. Maybe the minimum say beba. COVID period, or maybe a nyani easy. Or maybe in who nyani easy. Emrofono, kasa sembre nyesika prentia. Kanu mnipe a good New York Street. Ye dede. Enye ntwamumu ya editua wo mu ka. Ka me fi say Joe Biden kura wasori edwane. Ka bi gidi say German wo mu ko mu nyina asori ko. No mu de wo mu tire yenti. Na utiri ya otobo bone a na akọbọ akontatrim na fe enam se waware wonu abanti ontimi nka se wi ntiatia mu ntwa ba obusa se hwan ya na ni beto anim a no wajai oba kọ print agum ya wo mo che anye bia to nuru e de ama wo mo ye nuanom mesremo chairman mo kwa minim se political opportunists may be around. We a union leader.
Not the national interest, though.
Not the national.
Not the national
political opportunists may be around. Anything American.
May, okay. Okay. When we are dealing with national interest, some of these things.
I don't know. Anything American is actually one. Political interest may be around, and we must be very, very watchful. Abana yebi edo abuaye. Yensi making sure. China and the draw so the entire generation sacrifice one more time they say women national service. The entire period will be a national. So as South Korea. Tell me no money Japan, no more war, any other instances or no. You will be a run a ring here. You hear no good woman and diamond one. Monfemra, near Nane, Emma, Yemfa, Sad Breno. Yemfanko building national reserve. No more reserve. Aka 1 week. Natika nasa. That was the time when Ghana, Ekoma, South Korea, $5 million. Now me kwana mka se Ghana nche iskada.
Oh, Ghana say cheska bebre.
Ghana ko che South Korea iska.
Yeah.
Enti nano na South Korea so su basis hospital amayen. Say we ye papa da bia e bi sa wo nana no. Kwa me nkroma person wo mo ye sa no. What is happening now?
Yeah.
Woman so beboa a build the chip compound. Your omri shase NDC pen so a to aso. And woman su cheska. Woman sika no omo che no as foreign aid no. South Korea hwe emre bia wo mo ne ho kire no. Wa wo bo aye. Into generation bi wo ho a ye beto atowere chem.
Yeah.
To that generation about problem say ye solve as a collective responsibility. Yen nyina yen ntum ne play a role. Men ka say mon ka request for mo demand. What you here? Say po mo de be chem pa let the Ghanaians know na buying who say na kamo pe na nam COVID di mo di ache. You recognize them as heroes. Said the South Korea, you recognize you in generation, you know. To do maybe near Kai. America for play the same role. Obi a boy. And to do mira. So can say Obi a penny pound of fresh. The entire country will collapse. The entire country will collapse. And then farmers so sorry. Yes, you say the epe. We sorry. Yes, you say the epe. We sorry. Was he say nampe? We sorry. But yen can who say every man ye chichiri deja in Chirimba. So we are just facilitators for the next generation. There also be a playing role. Intiminianum ma contemplating on striker media kakamen ko an ke bia amaso. Ba sabe the wire on your marks no. Get set pena macro betu mirika no. Okos robe form wire on your set or on your marks. Intimate Ramo, mo konso amu hu say there is a certain Ghana. Na fe there was a certain time okura empo COVID mire na man bi ate almost salaries is okura mpo no. The government did not do that. Aban tua teacher for car when they were not even working. One reduce no. There was a contemplation to sack even 15% during 2015-2016. IMF presented a report on Ghana near IMF extended credit facility no, to get out 15% of the workforce. Yeah, na kebe disastrous. Aban we ba be hu. The government in the car said Serbia nansente say no di bia kwa man. U yi na di amara koka ne ba ho. Na papa nya dwuma maami nya dwuma. E ba nso so nya dwuma. Wan de beto nsuo kura ama obi anu bie. Enti e be ye dwuma. Na ban hyase e ye dwuma e ma ye hu se economy no obi ye ni yie growth ko soro bibia ko soro e ma fe nurses teachers ya ye kan ya megidi se ebi kure be ka strike ya ye bodi hu bi e kura no na bi nya dwuma aban fa wo ma dwuma e do mu hihye mu bi ye fa bi police ye fa bi wura empo the bulk of them NABCO and so ye fa wo mu wura we nyina ye de aban aya e wo sanke ye bo na baso na etwa atachere Maria onwenam bia utwa atachere Maria onwenam bia countries over the world obi e play the role during this recovery opese recognizing no say onu so play role no ebi one we say the city here enti aban from now onwards any ade no ekwanya ye faso ne workers engage e wo niema bi no yen so ye besesa yakwan ni ahwese kasa e de abufuo beba ama matwe konti ba e de apamo aban asopa ye akansam enye akire ye no yenya ne nipa kura de ehia wo kura no anode ne ye de ware anode ne ye de ware yesi meme nam ho nyina ne yetimba akohoma ya mi yire no mo koye masom aba no akogina station atwen no ohema wona wo bei no akogine bag na de asen wo kon ho na wo kon na do sa turu sisi achi o di ase
papa we pa
na pe wa kulu bibia da ediminia ya be ye bibia kama amamu na aye yie o di ase enche kura me so me ba be kam ho
ujina station no ba na ohu na now say
na ohima ene de wa ba sa wa bentem o ene ma ko yie die na fe ni bag no ya na ta se wo mu ko wo de wani fa no hu se kakra wo mu a ehuhu ayi na wa no waje asen wo ko ye ya di kura me saba ko no obi wo mu o ti ase body wo mu ba ji wo mu edura ya no de siso minu anya hwe kura no nkwan kakra de obenye biasa tin ni ubotom wo de ne sa unso nye bia na de abebo sa ne de ware wo ti ase enti ya no wo mo ntra ho eti se sebe aware no ehia bema na oba aboa no ehia oba na bema nso so aboa no. That is how government and workers must coexist. Yes, you're interested in trying to minute.
Madam Senyumre, Dr. Thomas Kusi Buafo. Dr. Zubairu.
Bros.
Madam Senyumre panel time.
Papa, we have a pass.
Kusi Buafo. Oh, Debbie.
Hey, Obe Rapu. Mesha, Oya Branti wano no Rapu basa. Hey, Doc.
Doc, you say share your mind. Mr. Kusi Buafo and Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu. Wamu mieno ena eno mchuche nkomo enenumre. Nyame adoma Dr. John Kofi Sechi owo Mab Hospital. Eye department dabe ochina ubenya mfia bi onum 55 na chesa oke kakoro no eti Dr. John Kofi Sechi awo Mab Hospital Eye department Isaac Oduro say yama advance happy birthday na yankopon enhira won so onkwa no de di emen 55 there na nyasem keto anyame ehira wo enti Dr. John Kofi Sechi yase yama utrinkwa nyame enka ho obusafo amjimidi yese onya bretie program ibia yera Kusi Buafo ne yera Ibrahim Zubairu omuchechiri mu obede ba yi ti ase ade ba ko a afanu ne nyina agi tum ne se ampa enema mu ayedin ne mo enema mu yedin a esese ohwe kwan a obefa so a obetoto ama no ayehie maybe da foforo ebeba ne ye bebi so om se ba bia ye wo sesi e din ne ye beye so oman ama yesi kasem etumi agina ne nan so Nigidi say yebese enya omo na yene omo edisa enkomo. Ya frame na ya okese obetumi aframe the Cardinal Isaac Oduro, Patricia Sefa Fisher, Prince Bafo Asamo, Emmanuel Etiemo, and Kwabranto enso so eba ebetai, Elizabeth Ejin and Samuel Apia omna hihye en medi ho chiame. Nyame eya adoma yebese ehia e wada platform dwumadie so edwada. Ewade nkan ye ho. No hwie nyina ye so rade mo ayen. Na yankwa nkoto amani BM. Bede rade asundwe eja mu nyina.